Okay, so today we're going to have a little bit of an introduction to InspectionWare. So the first thing you want to know is that InspectionWare can be used to deliver a polished app for a specific purpose, or you can use it in a sandboxing mode. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to look how you can try things out in InspectionWare and how to navigate your way around the platform. So the first thing here is we have down the side, these are the managers. And these are places where you can put objects that will help you do specific things. So acquisition is the place where we acquire data, typically from a digitizer or a DIO or something like that. Data would be the manager where you just open an old data file, that's been previously collected. Inspection would be doing a scan, so a scan in this case would be you would be moving motors around that drive a testing probe that collects the data. So it gathers the data from the acquisition and maps it with position. And that, of course, works with the motion manager, which moves motors around, which would typically drive your sensor around. I'm not going to cover all the managers, but the simulation manager would be where we do a sort of a three-dimensional, typical ultrasonic simulation, but it can be other things too. Okay, so to get around, the next thing to know is we can double click and it goes into the managers. Press this button, we go out. Oh, there's the data manager, and they don't have anything in them at the moment. And the other thing you might notice is that we've got the help over here on the right, and that follows unless you pin it. Let's go into the data manager, and we can go here, we can do add, and we'll do a simulated A scan. And so what that is this is a node. We call this a node that simulates the collection of an ultrasound send-receive signal. Okay, and this is the node here. And the first thing to know is you can double click on it and you get a list of properties in it. And these are the properties that describe the way that the data will be collected from the simulated ultrasound image. And the other thing to note is there's two parts here. This is sort of, we call this the node, and this is the output. This is where the data is. And I just change one property here. I go 2. Now I've got 2 of those, and this would indicate that you are collecting 2 ultrasound signals. And this is the simulated ultrasound signal, and that says channel A. I press this button and goes to channel B. So you notice that I just drag the data onto the desktop and I get a signal. It's created a new window here. These are sort of your windows for your sandboxing mode. You probably wouldn't deliver it to a final customer. They're quick and dirty, but there's a lot of capability here. I can change the length of the signal. And these are just properties that are exposed. Okay, so properties. The next thing to know is everything has properties. You double click, you can see the properties. And the other thing is tasks are essentially functions. So that's a right click. So I right click there and I do add, and I'm going to add a UT gate. And it added this node here. And you can see the gate. Oh, the gate's on channel A. Okay. And you can see the gate is in there. Just to keep going, I can drag this out here and it'll be the part that was in the window. If I go back, you can see that it's zoomed in. This is the amplitude in the window, so it's running 55% roughly, and time is the is the time of the signal, and this is 55 microseconds, or 15 microseconds, excuse me. Okay, so, and just this tree here, this tree is flowing, it flows data and execution. So the original node collects a signal, in this case it's a simulated ultrasound signal, puts it on the tree, runs the gate, and the gate chops it up and measures the peaks. So the gate is flow. The tree is flow of both data and execution. So it runs, and then the next thing to know is when I went here, I did add, and I can add another gate. I can also throw it in the recycle bin, but your real trove of tools is in the toolbox. So I've gone to the toolbox. I'm going to type FFT to do a fast Fourier transform, drag it on that output, and I'm going to split my window in half and drag the FFT over here, and now I have an FFT in the gate. So you can see that as I move the gate around, the FFT is updating live. Okay, so the toolbox contains everything, and it puts it on there, and the data flows down the tree, and that is a quick little simulation of ultrasound being collected. So let's just do a quick ultrasound scan. So I'm going to press this button, and then I can get two managers. And I'm going to put a 1D scan, one axis scan, and I'm going to split the manager again. I'm going to go into my motion manager. I'm going to right click, add simulated motion axis. This, you can see that this is sort of hinting that it wants a motor, so I'm going to drag and connect. Look at the icon there. That is a connection icon, and it means I'm not going to move the thing, but I'm going to establish a connection between the two. So that's gone. It's gone enabled there. And let's drag this on here. Again, we get the connect icon. I'm going to put this over here to replace my FFT. And I'm going to press go. And we get a little simulated scan. And say I want to collect it at a higher resolution, I can go from 1 millimeter to 0.1 millimeter resolution, and maybe let's make it a little longer. And you can right click here. Execute is the usual task to make things do what they're going to do, and now we have a longer scan. Okay, so that's the start of some things in the manager, and I think we'll just leave that for there and make another video for some more stuff.